know what I realized today? I don't show you enough of my whole day. This is like a weird camera angle. See, as much as I love tutorials and gear reviews and helping you guys do that side of life, there's just so much more that I want to create. And honestly, create isn't even the word. I think that's the problem, is I'm trying too hard to be creative with things, and I think that I can challenge myself to be more creative, but I want to make sure that I really show you what the everyday life of what I'm doing is, because I think that's what's going to be most valuable 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30. I don't know how long I'll create YouTube videos. I want to be able to look back and have like real life vlogs that had different value in the midst of them, because this is the journey. At the end of the day, I hope you come to this channel more for me than necessarily every single valuable piece of thumbnail or title that you see. And I don't mean that in like a conceited way. There's nothing special about me. For me, when I follow other YouTubers or I follow channels in general, I really follow them because I end up liking a personality. And I kind of feel like if I really like the person and I like the personality, everything they share is somewhat valuable to me, because there's just different ways they look at things than me. I hope that you realize my purpose of the channel is to create value in every single thing possible. So whether it's a vlog, whether it's a tutorial, a gear review, whatever it is, hopefully you realize that I'm trying to upload these videos with a purpose, and you may just find little nuggets that are important that others don't, and vice versa. So try to watch all the videos. I know it's impossible. Great meeting with my friend Paul. Paul's a guy that, just similar to me, loves just chatting about like business and entrepreneurship and just people, and he's just really, really good with people. He's working on some cool things. I love being a part of the start of people's journey, because as you help them create content and create video for like the next thing that they're doing in life, it's cool because you get to kind of follow along on their journey as well. So it's a really, really nice day out, and it'd be really silly for me to not take some advantage of this weather by doing what I needed to do for the last about 2 weeks. One thing you may not know about me is that I actually really like mowing the lawn and actually vacuuming. Similar things, like I really like seeing something long and then seeing progress made. So I like obsess about it, which is why I have like a commercial mower just for my house, but I just run out of time. So it's been 2 weeks since I've done this. I gotta do it. It's gonna rain the next bunch of days like usual. Maybe you've been following this vlog for long enough that you remember maybe 30 days, 60 days ago, something. I'll link the vlog in this little title. Do you remember when I talked about like what energizes you versus what doesn't energize you? I've talked about how that was important for me to understand like what gets me in a good mood, what depletes my energy, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, over the last 90 days or so, I've started to really discover that truly what energizes me the most is actually the idea of starting a task and completing it. So something like YouTube, for example, where I film all day and then I edit the vlog and I upload it the next day. It's a start to end completion, and it really energizes me. It gets me excited. It gets me just a feeling of accomplishment. It doesn't matter to me about the views. It doesn't matter to me about like how much money I make on a video. It's all about the idea of starting and completing something, because so many people can't do even that. As I've started to realize just how important it is in my brain to be able to start and complete something, I've really been trying to find more and more things throughout the day, in the midst of a day where I know there's not necessarily a sense of completion. Meaning, if I know like the task I have set out for that day is not something I can complete in that entire day, trying to find some random times in the midst of that day that I can complete little things really helps keep my brain energized and excited to continue to work with a good, enthusiastic energy, if that makes any sense to you. You know, sometimes it's hard when you have like a million different tasks to complete. You end up putting a huge task list together, and then you complete bits and pieces of each task, but you never necessarily finish just one task and move on to the rest. That can be a really depleting like feeling, because as you're growing a business especially, there's this constant battle of you're never really completing as much as you'd like. And so one thing I learned to try to do, and what I'm getting better at, is realizing that when I have days like today where I'm not necessarily completing one thing, in its entirety, I try to find little things here and there that can keep me motivated. Something as dumb as mowing the lawn is a sense of start and completion. It just gets my brain into this mentality that there was productivity in the day and I can continue to move on and kind of stay productive. Sounds really weird, but it's been a big, huge thing to me, and maybe it's something for you to consider as well, because some people are more driven by that than you think. And if you go through an entire day not feeling like you accomplished anything, it could be a frustrating type of day. Find little things, little victories here and there can make a huge difference. Okay, well that was a bit exhausting, but I've been wanting to do that for a while. Just updated the entire kit page for Wedding Film School. There's so much gear to talk about and recommend, and everybody's different with preferences, so we try to include everything, so I'll link it down below if I remember. Wedding Film School is something I'm super passionate about still. I have some huge goals and ideas for that channel and that business per se. Wedding Film School is an entire business to me. It's not just like a side hustle, it's another whole thing that I run, and maybe you've never heard of it. If you came across my channel from some behind the scenes things and you're interested more in wedding cinematography, I've removed kind of all of that from my channel in terms of new content coming out just for wedding filmmakers, and they're entirely now on that channel. So if you've not yet checked out the Wedding Film School channel, make sure you check it out. I will link it down below. It's got lots of great stuff coming out all around wedding cinematography. My channel is obviously based around some of that because that's what I do right now, but that's not gonna be forever. So make sure that you hop over there if you're interested in wedding filmmaking. Speaking of weddings, gotta edit one. So the film is cut, it is colored, and now moving on to my favorite part, which is audio. A lot of you have asked so many times in so many of these different vlogs, like what is my audio kind of finalizing program? What is the way that I do things? What are some tips? I need to do a whole video on that because it really is not just as simple as like one thing that I do and one preset you should use and one thing you should look for. There's so much when it comes to audio, and audio is so crucial to me. But in a nutshell, when I'm bringing it into iZotope, I am exporting the external dialogue audio only, which is anything from lav mics, from DJ setups, so anything that had actual microphones, nothing from in camera. I'm bringing it into iZotope, and I'm doing a couple main things. One of them being I'm leveling all the audio so that it is consistent. Biggest mistake I see in tons of wedding films is that you have to turn up your volume over and over to hear things and nothing's consistent. I really try to make sure that when you first hit play and you adjust your volume, everything stays super consistent, and then I mix the music accordingly. All right, well that was a long day. It's just after 11 o'clock. Time to go to bed, wake up, do it again tomorrow. Great overall day though.